welcome back. It's Shelby and today we are doing a really cool project that I actually haven't done in years, but it's making paper out of paper. So it's more like recycling and making different paper, but it's really cool and the end product is so beautiful. It's kind of that like rustic raw edge paper. Oh, I love it. It's so great. You really don't need that many things to do it. First off, paper, either scrap paper or just paper of the color that you want. Basically, I just want it to look a little bit more rustic than this, so I have a couple sheets of this kind of off-white cream paper. And then I thought it'd be cute. I cheated and bought the little crinkle paper that's pre-cut up, so a little bit of pink in there. I thought that'd be cute. And then I have some lavender buds here, just for at the end to give it that kind of herbal look with some flowers in there, and it might even smell nice too, which is always a bonus. And then because you know I can't resist, glitter, just a little bit. Like, it's still gonna look really beautiful and like natural and classy, but like just a little bit of glitter because I have to have it. As far as what you'll need a blender, hot water, and one of these. I mean, you can get like a screen. A lot of people make square ones. You can definitely do that, but you can just pick up an embroidery hoop at the craft store for way cheap, actually super cheap or super expensive. I saw some of them up to like $20. They were plastic. This one was $3. So I guess if you're not actually embroidering or need a specific type for a specific thing, just go with the cheap one. It works just as well. You're gonna need some netting or mesh to go through it. I have a lot of tulle because I made a tulle ball gown. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it above. It's pretty awesome. I didn't know what I was doing, but basically I had 2 days to make a dress and it turned out really well. So yeah, if you want to see that adventure, it'll be above. I'll also link it below in the description. You also need something to hold all your water in. I have a giant bowl. It's not, I kind of like wish I had like a giant clear thing so you can see, but it's fine. And the important thing, fits inside, just barely, but it does. So that works. That is everything that you are going to need for this craft. I will link it below because it's kind of a lot, along with my socials. If you like the video, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Consider subscribing. I'd love to see you here again soon. Here we go. So we are going to start by prepping our paper. Basically, it just can't be this big. You need little pieces. They don't need to be shredded as small as the pink stuff is. Maybe like little inch by inch squares or 1.5 inches. You can tear it or cut it. And basically I'm just turning these. I think I have like 5 sheets of this kind of cardstocky paper, and I'm just going to cut it and shred it and make it smaller. So here is all of my torn up paper. I'm gonna make a couple sheets of this, so I have a lot. I'm gonna add in my pink kind of confetti paper. So I have my paper mixture. I put my pink in there with the cream. Not a whole lot of pink, mainly just like a little touch of it. And then what I've got here is my roommate Super Duty blender and some hot water. Basically what you're gonna wanna do is just, ooh, make sure that doesn't go on you. That would've been bad. Fill up a fair amount of hot water there. And then we're gonna add our paper and let it sit for about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, can you see the steam coming off of that? Luckily when it spilled, it did not spill on my leg. But yeah, I kind of rushed the ending there because I was worried it was going to spill on my leg. But basically just hot water in a blender. I'm gonna add my paper and then we'll let it sit probably about 10 minutes because the water's hot, but really just until the paper starts disintegrating. That's really the only thing that you're looking for it to do. So just add your paper. Careful not to burn yourself, and get this party started. Okay, so all my paper's in there. I'm going to push it down with a spoon and we will let it start disintegrating basically. So while our paper is disintegrating and mashing up in the hot water, we're just going to add the mesh to our embroidery hoop. So I'm just going to unspin it up here. There's enough room for the circle to come off. Take my tulle or netted fabric, whatever you want to use, just enough to fit over the square. There we go. back over the top. Kind of pull it tight a little bit, the fabric. And we'll start cinching the top back in. That's all it is. And then when you start getting a little bit of tension in between the two circles, then you can start straightening out your fabric. Just like that. Don't worry about the corners, they're gonna be underneath, but nice, flat, taut surface. And that did not take 10 minutes, so we're just gonna chill and I'll see you in another 9 to 15 minutes. Actually, because I'm bored and the corners do kind of bother me, I'm just gonna trim them off a little bit. I'm gonna leave myself some room so that I can like put this on the loop if I need to, but yeah, just get rid of most of them. There. Much more manageable. So I'm gonna set up my bowl prior to getting the paper all pulpy. Normally what you would do is just pour your pulp, paper, water mixture into the bowl, take your screen and kind of scoop it up and pan it out, kind of like you're panning for gold. But because of the shape of my bowl, I don't really have a whole ton of room for that. So what I'm going to do is fill my bowl with water first. And I'll add a little bit more of that too, but I just want to give you the general idea. And then I'm going to put my mesh over the top of it. And that way when I pour my papery water pulp mixture in there, all the pulp will catch on the mesh and not really go through, but the water will come up so I can kind of, you know, wash it around a little bit so it'll be a little bit watery and make it a more even layer before I pour some of it out. So that is an alternative if you have just like a giant bowl rather than a really large thing of water to work with. Just a different way of doing it. Okay, looking pretty good. We're ready to go. Okay, so our bowl is full of water, just to make it a little bit easier. Again, that's just because of the shape of the bowl that I'm using. I'm going to put my net in over the top. So the water's just a little bit below the net. This is perfect because I'm going to be pouring a lot of water into the bowl and I don't want it going anywhere. So now we have our pulpy paper mixture and I'm going to try to evenly distribute it over the top of the net, but if not, the water level will rise and I should be able to shake it out a little bit. Go. So I still have some pulpy paper left. I want to do a couple batches of this, so that's perfect. And the water level is not quite high enough, so I'm going to add a little bit of water. Just adding some water to bring the level up a little bit and kind of even out my paper mass. There we go. So the water level is high enough. And kind of disperse the pulp a little bit. And now I can add my lavender buds. Look how beautiful this is. It smells really, really good. I love lavender. Kind of obsessed, not gonna lie. And a touch of glitter, because, you know, I have to. A little touch. We'll mush that down in the water a little bit. Mix it around in the pulp. Make sure it's nice and evenly coated. Here we go. Okay, so we are at the sink, and basically what I'm going to do is just pour some of the water out so that it can dry. So I'm carefully carefully pull my net with the paper pulp out. It's pretty fragile at this point. I want that to dry flat, so I actually want to put it back in the bowl. So for now, I'm just going to move it for a second and dump out the water. So another bonus of pouring the pulp through the net into the water rather than having it all in there is that the water is pretty clear and you can just toss it down the drain. Now I'm going to set my paper pulp back into the bowl to dry because now there's no water underneath it and the pulp can just drain through the mesh and get caught by the bowl so that there's no mess. And basically I'm just gonna let this dry overnight because it's super waterlogged and is gonna take at least several hours. So I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so we are back and the paper is all dry. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't drying super well, probably because we're getting into fall and it's a little bit colder. So what I ended up doing was turning my oven on to warm, which is about 170 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm putting it in there until it just kind of like hardened up and wasn't soggy anymore. So I pulled it out and this is what we're left with. Super pretty. Oh, with the glare of the lights, that doesn't look super pretty, it just looks dirty, but it's like, it's really pretty. It's like light pink and sparkly with herbs of lavender in there. So I will do some close-ups later, but it's actually really pretty. So if you're wondering why the edges look a little bit toasty, it's because I put it in the oven, but it didn't really change the structure, how it turned out at all. It didn't burn it or anything. So yeah, it turned out really, really well. Because I didn't use the square kind of framework that I was talking about in the beginning, I used a circle. I have a circular piece of paper. So I also used cardstock as most of the paper I used in there, so it's a little bit stiffer, which is what I wanted. You could use regular paper and then it will come out feeling more like regular paper, but that's not quite what I wanted. So what I have here is just a book, and I'm going to put it on here and kind of break the edges off in like a straight line, so I get more of that rectangular paper shape to work with, and I'm gonna change the camera angle and we will do that. So this is the paper, how it turned out. It's nice and stiff, which is what I wanted, and it's a circle, so basically I'm just gonna take a giant book and put it over the top of it and then just kind of break it. Because it's cardstock, I'm anticipating being able just to kind of fold it up and tear it. I do want that raw edge, which is why I'm not using scissors. That's kind of the whole point of this paper, is that beautiful raw edge. So that is what I'm going for. Here we go. Alright guys, so we are all done. The edges are all cleaned up, and this is what we're left with, a piece of rectangular, beautiful, very kind of natural, earthy looking paper. It's got the lavender buds in there. I did go a little hardcore with those because I love lavender and I think they're really pretty in there. The camera's not really doing it justice, like the harsh contrast. It's because it's like dark and stormy out today and my lighting's all crazy, but if this was like a normal sunshine day and not like full of artificial light on the camera, this would be gorgeous. But the close-ups will show the glitter and the lavender because I did end up putting it in the oven just to warm it. The whole place smelled like lavender. It smelled so nice. I'm kind of obsessed with that scent. But yeah, this is how it turned out. I'm kind of in love with this. I think it's so cool. If you like the craft or the project, let me know by hitting that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I do really love hearing from you guys. You guys have been awesome and it's so great getting to know you better. If you want to see my channel again, more videos, see what I'm up to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you here again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now. So with the dark background, you can actually see a better contrast and a more true color. It turned out being pink. I kind of thought it would be like cream colored with pink specks in it, but as soon as the pink crinkle paper hit the water, it just dyed it all, but whatever, it's beautiful. I love the little herbs and the little lavender buds. I love the glitter. So sparkly, so pretty. Ah, everything about it. I just love it.